welcome back to the channel. So in last week's vlog I talked about how we were going to prep the garden for some cole crops for the fall. However, I didn't get a chance to do that, and I keep meaning to, and I've got all these seeds sitting on my counter and still nothing's happened to them. So I've decided just to embrace the fact that that didn't work out, and I'm going to tear out some of the garden stuff that isn't really producing, prep it, and then tomorrow I'll take you along for a trip to the greenhouse. It's this amazing greenhouse, super fun. My neighbor introduced it to me and I love it, and I haven't been back there since the spring. So I thought I'll just buy some starts, because I feel like at this point seeds aren't probably going to make it. It's already the last 3rd of August, I guess, and our freeze date can be kind of the first part, well, like the middle of October. So that would be tight. So I think that if I just buy starts at this point, I'm going to be so much better off. So today I'm going to spend some time prepping the garden. It's still in the 90s here, pretty hot in the day, but I figure if I divide and conquer, I only have to be out here for a little bit to pull out the garden stuff, and then tomorrow I'll be so excited to go to the greenhouse, and then I can start planting some stuff. So anyway, I'm going to take you along and show you what I'm up to. So as I've shared with you before, this bed had peas in it originally. Then I ripped the peas out, and I had all the best of intentions of putting other stuff back in, and it didn't really happen. So it's just got, you know, a bunch of stuff that didn't survive. Avocados, a tomato. I didn't do really very well on my tomatoes this year. They're huge, they look impressive, but they didn't, I don't know, they didn't pollinate or something. They didn't produce a lot of tomatoes. We've had some, which is nice, but I really had high hopes of like canning and making my own spaghetti sauce and stuff. Yeah, that didn't happen. So anyway, I'm just going to prepare this bed. We might do some more peas in it, or we might just go with kale. We all love kale. We love kale baked. We love it sauteed. We love it pretty much any way you can cook it in smoothies. So I'll just start by preparing this. I'm not a true gardener. I don't like dirt underneath my nails, so actually that's not the problem. The problem is that I don't like bugs, in all honesty. I don't even like them on my gloves, but I feel like at least that's not on my hands. So I don't want to run into any creepy crawlers with bare hands, although I really love seeing them working and doing their magic if I have gloves on. So here we go. Here's another example of something that is taking up too much space for what it's worth. I bought 2 little tiny zucchini plants. Can you see them there? Again, they have the fencing around them because of the dogs. One is doing okay. This front one with the zucchini, we've had several zucchini. Oh, and here's some more. You see, they're doing really well. This one's kind of an odd shape, but we've got more still coming, so that's good. This is the one though, it was a yellow squash, and I guess it didn't have anything to pollinate with. The thing is huge. I mean, it's taking up the whole back half. They look wilted because it's super hot, but normally they look a little nicer. It's taking up the whole back half, and it has flowers, but we haven't had a single squash. So I think it's just gotta go. Duke, that's for chickens. Okay, remember before I told you about this high tower that I bought? I think it's a great concept. I didn't do right by it because I used the wrong potting soil, and so I'm going to take this apart and try to find some more place for some plants in it. We did have success with one. Can you see yeah, see, there's some jalapenos, a couple of them. Interesting, because we don't even use jalapenos. But the rest of it, I'm just gonna take apart and see what I might be able to stick in there for the fall. Maybe we can get some more kale in it, because that would be pretty fun. Kale stands up to light snow and frost, and I've had it grow through all of that all year round. So that's the next thing to get ready. Okay, so each one of those I think probably weighs like 25 to 30 pounds. It has a lot of water in it. They're pretty heavy. And tons of water in them. But the good thing is, because they have been watered, this dirt that's underneath them is a little dry. And so, ugh. There's a lot of creepy crawlies in here. I don't know what they are. That one's an earwig, but there's some things with like tons and tons of legs, whatever that is. It's gross, what it is. But the water from here will start to saturate the dirt. And so, not dirt, the soil, will start to saturate the soil. And then by tomorrow when I'm ready to plant, it'll just go in and I won't have to worry too much about my plants getting dried out. I will go ahead and put some water over it all so it's really watered down, as well as prep my dirt and put water on that too, so that when the plants go in, they just don't get dry, because it's just so hot that they dry out very easily. Anyway, that's the next task. I'm a little disappointed that I don't have potting soil, because I would have liked to just get that into these trays and get them ready for tomorrow, but it might be well enough because I am so hot from just being out here for not very long. I'm a weakling when it comes to heat. Anyway, I can get that tomorrow when I go to the nursery, so it's no big deal. So I think I'll go in, make better use of nap time right now as my youngest is sleeping, and then tomorrow I'll be ready to go. And this is getting me excited because somehow I had to kind of work up my enthusiasm, but now I feel like I have it worked up since I got some of that hard part done. You know how the hardest part is always starting a project, because starting is just always the hardest. But now that I'm going, it'll be fun, it'll be good. So I'll take you along tomorrow when we actually get the dirt and the plants. Oh, I saw lots of gross things. Oh, I need really garden gloves. I used to have some, but they're packed away since we moved, and my hands are like dripping with sweat. That's pretty gross. But anyway, still have my manicure. It's kind of funny to think, as I water right now, and the water coming out of here is super, super hot, that this was our cold frame when it was too cold to plant in the spring, and we were trying to catch some of that heat in here. And now we're trying to get the heat to go out. So you're not supposed to water in the heat of the day, but this is the free time that I have to water it. So I'm just making sure that I don't touch any of the foliage with it, because the zucchini leaves, they don't like to get hot, but it looked like it needed a little drink. Plus I wanted to prep the soil for tomorrow, so I'm getting it wet. So the last thing I wanted to prep was these tomatoes that are going along the house. They look super impressive, but they're not, because there's just not, don't like bugs. There's not a lot of tomatoes on them. This is my fennel, and it is doing fantastic. And I need to figure out how I harvest this, or what I do with this. I think it's the kind that bulbs, so, ugh, the big wasp after me. So anyway, I have to figure out what to do with that, as well as my herbs. But then here's all my tomatoes, and some of them are Romas that did great. And then some of them, like my Dr. Witchy and my Paul Robeson's, and they just, I don't know what happened. I think maybe the seeds were old, but that shouldn't be, because I think I've heard that you can keep seeds for a long time. Anyway, they grew like crazy, but they didn't flower. And I even went along and would shake them to get the pollen to drop onto the other ones, but I love that tomato smell. But it didn't work. So anyway, depending on how much stuff I find at the nursery tomorrow, I might pull some of these out and use that space otherwise. But if I just don't feel like planting a whole bunch of stuff, or it just doesn't seem like there's enough to plant already, I won't even worry about this. I'll just leave this in. So, okay, now I'm headed inside because I'm melting. So it's the next day. We came to the greenhouse. I called them this morning, and they do have kale starts and a whole bunch of broccoli and cauliflower, and I need to get the potting soil, so we're gonna head in. Okay, back home, baby's napping, and I'm gonna take these and fill them up with potting soil, not raised bed mixture, and stick my kale in. I'll see how many it fills. Can't tell you how frustrating this has been, trying to plant my things. I changed my mind about where I'm gonna plant everything, and now the kale is going back in here. So I think I'm changing my mind about the tower. I feel like it's just too late in the season to try to put them in little small things, and what if it doesn't grow? I really want it to grow because this is my last growing opportunity. So now I'm thinking that I'll just put the lettuce in a large bucket like this and take it out of this one, and then it can just kind of grow as a bush. And I don't know, I hope that this works. I've just not had any luck this year. I'm too hot. I think I'm done. I had to go inside for a little bit, cool off, literally and figuratively. I had to adjust my attitude. I was just getting too hot. I started getting frustrated about where to plant all this stuff. It's just too hot to be out here in the full sun. I'll come back out tonight, but I just wanted to finish up this vlog. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and planting a fall garden. I hope it encourages you to plant a fall garden. I hope you have more luck with your tomatoes than I do. I mean, this has really just been the worst. I'll see you next time.